IVM.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Positively Unlimited podcast. And today's episode, I'm peeling off another layer of communication. I'm talking about J for jargon. Now, jargon is something that we all may be familiar with in our workplace. These are words that, well, in our professional world, we use them. There are specific, it's like almost as if there's a dictionary by itself in each one's professional world. But what is happening more and more in our personal spaces is that a lot of these words from the professional world are trickling into our personal spaces. And we seem to be having a whole new set of jargon gifted to us by social media and by, well, concepts that are floating around in the world right now. So I'm going to try and dissect some of those in today's episode. But before I do that, the reason why I picked this topic is because a lot of times the only thing that jargon does is it complicates matters. It creates conflicts. It intensifies arguments. So one of the things that you want to do this week is identify words of jargon that you are throwing around. Identify these pieces of cliches which are not allowing you to say simply or in a straightforward manner what you should actually be saying. Are you hiding behind jargon? Are you hiding your true thoughts, words, feelings behind big words? Let me give you an example of jargon that is doing the rounds on social media. All the hashtags that we use. Well, a lot of them are nothing but jargon in our current dictionary. Think about it. Hashtag tribe vibe. What does that mean? It means nothing more than a circle of friends. So when there is this big statement put out saying find your tribe, or when you hashtag tribe vibe, what are you essentially saying? You're saying find people, build relationships with people who are like-minded and who share the same interests as you. So essentially, your tribe and the vibe that tribe holds is nothing but your circle of friends and the love that you share with each other. How you'll rely on each other, how you'll support each other, how you have each other's back. Well, a few years ago, it was called simply friendship. Let me give you another example from the healing world. You know, when a healing practitioner says everyone has a journey, essentially that means that everyone has their own individual life to live and their experiences are different from each other. Essentially that means that don't compare yourself to someone else because the choices they made and the experiences that they are living thanks to those choices may not be the same as yours, and hence it's not a thing of comparison. So don't make yourself feel any less or any more. Everyone has their own journey. It also means that nobody is right and nobody is wrong. Everyone has their own journey. Everyone has to make their own choices. Everyone has to bear the consequences or enjoy the fruits of those choices. You know, in relationships, when we throw around the word validation, right? I recently recorded a video series that I've been doing on my IGTV called Date Night, where I'm talking about relationship mistakes that we're making or mindset patterns that are not allowing us to have fulfilling relationships. And validation is what I spoke about in the recent one. But when you are talking about validation, is it just jargon for you seeking attention? You wanting some form of appreciation, you saying, I'm not noticed enough for what I bring to this relationship? Is it just you saying, I want to be heard, I want to be more visible, I want to be the center of your life and your world? Could it just be that? What is that validation about, that word that we are throwing around so loosely? Jargon allows us to hide our true feelings. It allows us to, disguise certain things that we are afraid to speak up or speak out about in plain and simple manner. Like I said earlier, it often even complicates matters and intensifies arguments. Because what we also don't realize is one person's definition of a jargon word is very different from another person's definition of it. So when I say tribe vibe, I may be thinking about a professional circle only. I may be thinking about the world of healers and life coaches and counselors that I'm a part of, not necessarily friends. But when you may be using it for you, it may be more about your personal space. So remember that jargon can often be misconstrued as well. One such word that is misconstrued in our world is life purpose. Life purpose has become the word for people to, be dissatisfied about their current life and to tap into FOMO and say, oh, maybe I am missing out something because I don't have that one single point that is the core or the basis of my life. So to understand that sometimes life purpose may not be one thing, it could be a mix of multiple things because it's leading you to be a certain person. Sometimes life purpose can be related to career and money, but not always. Sometimes life purpose is completely a personal thing. As an example, the mother who gives birth to a child who is, handicapped. Now, and I'm not saying this is her life purpose, but there is a big chance that enabling that child to live a full life is the mother's life purpose. For a lot of mums who have children who are specially abled, that child and that child's life and that child's upbringing does become their life purpose by default. For some, that is the actual case. And for some, it's not. And there is something else that is the point of their life. But in essence, right now, when you look at that word, ask yourself, what are you actually searching for? And you might understand that when you are searching for life purpose, most of us are either comparing our lives to other people and thinking that we don't have it good enough or that we aren't doing as much as we can and should be doing. Some of us are using it as an excuse to not really be happy and enjoy what we have and make the most of it because we're constantly looking for something else. And for some of us, we're just creating illusions. So sometimes when we use words like that, we also fall into traps. And that is why I say, be careful of jargon. Be careful of which words are on repeat and how you are using those words. Think about what is happening in your life right now. Observe the words that you use. Identify the words that you need to as jargon and either eliminate them completely or wherever they are truly unnecessary. Use jargon sparingly. For anyone listening to this who wants some more communication tips, there are many episodes that I have recorded previously that offer various tips to change the way you speak and listen. There is know when to speak. There is an episode on labels. There is an episode on reflex words. If you listen to Make Conscious Choices, I speak about saying no. If you listen to the episode called Say Yes, I talk about saying yes to certain things. I mean, if you go through these bunch of 5 or 6 episodes and you practice the tips that are in them, you will change the way you communicate. You will change the way you are speaking and you are listening. For all previous episodes, log on to the IVM website or download the app, the IVM Podcast app. You can also connect with IVM on Instagram and Twitter. Their handle is IVM Podcasts. And if you want to connect with me, DM me on Instagram. My handle is Positivity Angel. So until next time, may you practice speaking clearly and in the most straightforward manner that is possible.
I hope you enjoyed that show. We'd like to thank our sponsors this week, Paytm Money. If you aren't following us on social media, please do. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Guys, it's been a really, really cool week. We've had a ton of interesting stuff come out. We had an episode with Kunal Shah on Cyrus Says. We've had really stellar episodes on Pesa Vesa, Advertising is Dead, Filter Coffee Podcast, on Empowering series, all over the place. Definitely do check it out. I'm sure you'll enjoy what's been going on this week. And thanks for listening, and we hope to catch you again next week.
Are you constantly seeking happiness? Wondering how to make the most of every day? How not to let your inhibitions stop you from achieving your goals? It's now time to get your A-game on. It's time to unlock your true potential. Tune in to the Empowering series with me, Zarina Poonawalla, to feel empowered in all genres of life. From behavioral skills to management skills. From health to relationships. From mental well-being to emotional well-being. And of course, your finances. I've got you covered. With these tips and tricks from me, Zarina, and true life stories from my amazing guests, you're bound to bring your purest to the table. Tune in to the Empowering series with Zarina Poonawalla every Thursday on the IVM Podcast app, website, or wherever you listen to podcasts.